There we go.
The woman in the gray sweatshirt, Jody, I believe her name is.
Okay.
She's the running the meeting.
Okay.
The guy I was talking to is the commissioner, Lamont.
Okay.
Who he says he won't stay during executive session.
Okay.
And he finds it very interesting. He's like that Muppet with the eagle.
Yeah.
The eagle Muppet from Muppet Show. Anyway. So when the meeting's concluded, if he stays, she's going to advise him he needs to leave. If he doesn't,
she has the trespass authority, right?
She does.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll remove him and cite him. If he resists us, he'll be arrested and booked into jail. He's been advised of that.
Cool.
I hope. We're just going to be background until that time when the meeting is concluded.
Sounds good.
We can't. I've never played cornhole. I'll bet you it's really fun.
It is fun, and you can actually we can build one of these setups like fairly cheap.
Oh yeah.
Like in the garage or whatnot. Barbecue type stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I could see it.
Did you get my text?
I probably did, but I didn't check my phone.
I literally just sent it to you.
What's his name? Earl was coming, but I canceled him, and he drove right by. Like I didn't realize how close he was, so. I was IMing Hall because he was like, because he's buried in Indian packs, and I told him I'll let you know if I need you. So.
What time was pizza supposed to?
7.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he knows that we're here, so it's all good.
It's cool that I didn't know that they do this on this side. We thought it was in the big building over there last time because that's where all the cars were parked in front of. And we opened the door and there's like a full-on soccer game going on in there. We're like, wrong building.
Yeah, like mid-kick they stop.
They use this for lacrosse. There's all kinds of things.
Yeah. That's cool that they open it up. It is.
Yeah, I could see mindlessly just doing this for hours and hours.
Yeah. Yeah, similar to like bowling.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi, Cindy. How you doing? Great to see you.
Yeah.
How's my girl doing?
Oh, she's perfect.
Oh,
we
great.
love her. We love her.
She's so happy you did.
Yeah, we're going to keep her.
Outstanding. Oh.
You guys want to sit in? Or?
I really don't. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I know.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, oh, there you go.
Lost my.
Okay. It's 6:01. I'd like to bring this meeting to order, please. Do we have any public comment?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. My name is Commissioner Luke Ahmet, and yes, I am here in my official capacity. There's a series of events that are interesting, and I sent an email to the Fair Board today, and I'm uncertain as to what exactly your proposed agenda addition is in regards to the retention of a substitute deputy prosecutor. The challenge is that according to the memorandum of understanding that was signed by yourself last night, in the event of a conflict of interest between the Board of County Commissioners, which I am representing at this time, and the Fair Board, this is page 4, paragraph F. In that case, there will have to be a recusal of any prosecuting attorney staff because of that conflict of interest. So, I'm curious as to what that would be. And then, in addition, I have brought forth this memorandum. I've got 6 copies. I'm going to keep one, and this is for your membership. There's the other one. Yes, March. And here's what's going on. At the last meeting, I asked for the board to consider waiting in reference to submitting a letter. On the back page of this, which is a memorandum dated January 17th, 2022, which was addressed to the Bonner County Fair Board from Darcy Smith, the prior Bonner County Fairgrounds and Facility Director, is my concerns, which is, here is the cost estimate associated with the grant, which has been accepted by the Board of Bonner County Commissioners. And as I requested, I would like to wait so that we could have a joint meeting between the commissioners and the Fair Board. You are free to do as you choose. However, a $500,000 budget will pay for approximately $500,000 worth of a project. So as I said again, I would respectfully ask that you consider waiting until after we have the meeting with Sewell Engineering. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Are we talking on the campgrounds now too, or is that comment come later?
Any public comment?
Any public comment?
Public comment.
Monica Gunner. Hi guys. So on the campground, I just want to talk a little bit about that. I've been going to the commissioners' meetings and being involved with the campground here, which I'm 100% in favor of having a campground on the grounds, but moving it off the sheriff's designated property over there to fairgrounds property, fairgrounds designated property. And part of the reason I say that, you guys know how passionate I am about this place. And the grant for the campground is coming from Idaho Parks and Rec, which my husband works for. He's the grant, he doesn't work, but he volunteers for Idaho Parks and Rec. He's on the grants approval committee for approving these grants, and he's very passionate about that too. $473,000+ to do that campground, and on that property over there, if that property ever needs to be expanded for the sheriff's office, for the facilities, for anything, Jody, turn your phone off.
Give me a second.
So, and this came directly from our Bonner County Commissioners, minus Asia, that if that ever needed to be expanded over there, the sheriff's office, and they needed that place, they'll just plow down the new campground that we put in, $473,000. That, yes, they say it's free money, it is taxpayer money. We all pay taxes on our RVs, we pay taxes on our motorcycles, we pay taxes on everything we recreate in. And that's what makes the money for these grants. So it's not free money. It's money coming from the public that will use that campground. So that's a huge thing to me, is that they say, we'll just till it under and build the sheriff's office if we ever need it. So I came out of the last commissioners meeting, went straight home and called Boise Parks and Rec and explained it to the head girl down there about the contention that's going on with this campground. And she just shook her head. She said, I can't believe this is happening. And she said, do they know that if they tilled it under 1 year, 5 years, up to 20 years, they have to pay the grant back? So that's something to hugely consider with location of this grant. I love the idea of the campground, just not there, and I think you guys might have other ideas for where to put the campground. I haven't talked to any of you about it because I wanted to wait and see what y'all thought, but that's the wrong spot for the campground over there. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Wayne Martin for the record. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here. A couple of questions that I have for you guys, whether you answer it right now or not. Is there a plan for development of the fairgrounds? Is there a map that is looking at showing what you're thinking of in expanding the fairgrounds, or if you're looking at keeping it stagnant? RV parking, are you looking at keeping the existing RV area, or are you looking at utilizing the new projected camping area and eliminating this? What you feel you're going to be getting financially from the new campground area? I know when I've come here and it's not been, you know, the rodeo or the fair, it does not have a lot of tickets in there. I don't think you're looking at year-round for that. I don't know what you're looking at from the standpoint if it's going to be a weekly, monthly, or what rent on it, if that's even been decided or thought or talked about. Those are concerns that I have. Yes, Matt, I know you and you're mentioning your name. That's okay. So, and I do have a concern about spending the money, and then what has been mentioned at the commissioners' meetings. Oh, well, if we have to, we'll just, tear it out and all, regardless of the grant part. And the grant part is very important, because having to turn around and pay that money back. That is something I hope that you folks are looking or have looked at. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, Mark Linscott, is it okay if I reserve comment on this until we actually get to that agenda item? I think it's towards the end of the agenda. I can't?
Mr. Bauer is shaking his head. I recommend.
How long are we limited to 3 minutes? Limited to 3 minutes?
It's the 3 minutes.
I don't think what's next? Okay, I guess he'll be meeting this 3 minutes. My question and concern, I've done a lot of research on this. I've been attending the commissioners' meetings, as well as looking back on the records in regards to when the jail was in addition to the memorandum of agreement back in 2014 between the military division as well as the fairgrounds regarding 3.9 acres. At no point in time was the 2.2 acres proposed for the RV campsite. At no time was that ever part of that agreement area for the military division and the county and Bonner County Sheriff. And then back again in 2014, it was deeded back. So there's so much to unpack in here. I think you guys would be very beneficial in meeting with the county commissioners and having a powwow with them. There's no way I can go over everything that I brought to demonstrate to you guys. But I think first and foremost, you guys are stewards for the county, and stewards on behalf of county taxpayers and as well as the campgrounds. If the concern is that, to me, it's a win-win situation. The proposed site isn't affecting anything in the footprint of the fairgrounds being used now. It's going to nearly be all paid for the grant, and potentially $250,000 to $260,000 revenue generator annually. That's a lot of money. This last year, I think, and I spoke with the clerk's office today, I think it was around $425,000 the county taxpayers used to supplement to pay for staff and costs. There's a lot of stuff that can be done for that. And I know, Jody, I heard the passion in your voice last week. I know you don't want to hold it. And I think that the county commissioners absorb any kind of flack that may be had. Let them deal with it. But that's a lot of money. I mean, where else are you going to make up for that kind of revenue? Is there any possible way? I mean, as far as I understand, I know we're thinking about possibly just expanding on the existing campground. But as far as I understand, the engineer who could not be here said that's not an option. So if there's no option for you to expand on the existing site, and that's the only one, why not simply consider that? There was a jail survey done in 2019. I wanted to add that if you guys have a joint meeting, I'm sure it will come out for you guys. The estimate that was in 2019 to have an 80-bed expansion on the jail was $11 million with a 5% annual escalation. That puts you around $15 million now for just an 80-bed unit. All due respect to Sheriff Wheeler, I don't foresee the Justice Center ever being built in there. There is plenty of room over there on that property to add what they need to do. I don't think any pressure needs to be on you guys. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a win-win situation for this fair. And like I say, you're stewards for this fair. And I'm available for any questions you guys may have. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
That's one of the most intelligent people in the room. It's hard to follow. Thank you for that.
I didn't speak though.
Well,
Sorry, man.
so I got kind of the map of the campground as well. I kind of outlined it so it was a little easier. And I also did some research and somewhere around that $250,000 a year additional revenue for the fairgrounds. That's only in 6 months worth of campground use. I also believe that's a really good thing for the fairgrounds. I don't know all the particulars, I don't, with the Parks and Recs. I do know, that cost estimate was done in 2021. There's a thing called inflation that, in order to get that thing built today, or in the next year or two for that kind of money, I think is a super stretch. Condensing it into one location, kind of, if there was possibilities of other locations out here with our existing campground, maybe fitting some spots in here and there. I understand that this grant doesn't mean that it has to be all contiguous to each other, to each of those campgrounds, all 34 spots that the grant was written for. I actually think that this, is, a win-win situation for the fairgrounds, for the community. Calling around today, calling around several different RV parks, and there is no availability. So as far as what will be the availability, how full will it be? I don't know. 34 spots is a lot of spots. That's a lot of campers, and everything else that comes with that responsibility of having that is a lot. All the controversy going on with the sheriff and everything, if the commissioners are okay, they're gonna put that, they say that we're good, we're gonna put that there, and the fairgrounds is gonna get use of it. It's not impacting just judging by this map, it kind of shows a little bit that it's gonna encroach a little bit into the fairgrounds, 40-acre line, but not tremendous, about half the length of a pickup, I would say. And I actually think that would be a good thing. Now, if the sheriff decides to level it, I can't foresee the future. I don't know what's going to happen, whether or not that's, Bonner County has grown. We all know that. So the future is unknown. However, even in a 5-year period, we're talking about significant revenue coming back to the fairgrounds. And so if they do level it 5 years from now, and we have to move it somewhere else, or they will most likely have to pay for that, and we will have to pay it back. Sorry, I'm going over my 3 minutes. So I would approach a letter of conflict with extreme caution and try to keep emotions low.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this for a long time, and it goes back to the day that Darcy Smith called and asked me to write a letter of recommendation for this grant. And I politely declined, because at the time, I was not in support of another RV park at the campground, at the fairgrounds. We're about fairgrounds. My mind has changed since then for reasons that Monica has listed, and everybody. Ben's numbers are right. It can bring in a lot of revenue, which we could use around here. Lord knows this building needs a new roof. But that aside, after the last meeting, I walked around on this grounds, and I was super excited with the idea of putting it over here north, where there's already a campground, taking that old house out. But the reality is, 34 spots can't fit in there. Because I was thinking, oh, there's so much space, but there's power lines, and there's more factors to that. So I said, well, could you sprinkle in here and here? But the numbers are adding up quick. When you're talking about this kind of construction, $500,000 is really not that much money at the end of the day. I don't know, I don't have the answer, but I think those things do need to be put on the table and considered. And wherever it ends up being, I'm pro parking all the way. I have an event that I need a lot of parking. I'm already knocking on the door of the LDS church across the way on Saturdays. And Sundays I'm out because they have service. So people are parking wherever they can and walking, and that's not gonna happen anymore. If you put an RV camp right in the middle of a parking lot going to another parking lot, that sets us up for a ton of liability. People having to drive through an RV park in order to park their car, haul things, haul livestock, whatever. I just want to put my 2 cents on the table. It's a very difficult conversation to have, and I don't envy you guys having to make this decision, but I'd like to echo that and say if we could just go about this on both sides with patience and understanding. Thank you.